Bitcoin breaks away 20% to the upside away from traditional markets, still amidst global panic. How did this happen? How did we have an idea this was going to happen? And maybe a better question, what is potentially getting ready to happen next? Quick little live stream for Twitter as I take a break from work. I have on the screen the Dow Jones, 31% to the downside since around February 20th or so. Just real quick, want to illustrate something. This is Bitcoin from around February 20th, 34% to the downside. Bitcoin doesn't even seem that much more volatile as many would anticipate or expect in terms of this crazy global situation that's going on. I just really wanted to throw that out there real quick. Now, to start this video, I want to just take a quick clip from yesterday's video. So I'm going to watch this. Hopefully you can hear the sound, and let's do it. So here it is. Again, a similar type of falling channel for Bitcoin in the yellow line, breakout target around $6,600 or so. And then we also have that inverse head and shoulders that I covered the other day. That dash kind of just played out, right? We're at the neckline now with a breakout target also around $6,600, $6,700. So the question is this: will Bitcoin follow in the footsteps of Dash? There it is. Will Bitcoin follow in the footsteps of Dash? There's Dash right now. Dash wicking up to $72 on this 4-hour chart. If we look at Bitcoin real quick, here's Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. Since I did that video yesterday, probably somewhere around there, Bitcoin has broken out. Bitcoin has followed in the footsteps of Dash. Now, the reason I play that clip is because I have to prove that taking historical data works, because I get comments all the time that it doesn't work. And it's so important just to kind of put that out there, because not to defend myself, but to really illustrate the fact that historical data is incredibly important, even in volatile markets. So Bitcoin broke out of different trend lines, right? We had that inverse head and shoulders that I talked about right here. Bitcoin broke the neckline. We're currently on track potentially to hit the target, not too far above of where we've already wicked. And then the other thing is we had this falling channel that Bitcoin's in, again, similar to Dash. Bitcoin broke to the upside. Bitcoin, since we got this huge drop and we talked about technical analysis back here was very difficult to do. We talked about the need for structure. Now Bitcoin is starting to put in some structure. And, all of that happening as the world becomes more organized in terms of how we are dealing with what is going on right now. So there's consolidation on an emotional level. People are, still fearful, but beginning to take control of that fear and to deal with the situation how we need to deal with it. And that's incredibly important because the emotional aspect of this is a huge data point for Bitcoin right now and what happens next. So interestingly enough, though, the title of this video, Bitcoin pulling away from traditional markets, it's such a key takeaway right now. This is Bitcoin. If I look on the daily charts right here, this is the daily chart. You can see Bitcoin, this huge daily candle. We go to the Dow. This is the Dow on the daily chart. Nothing crazy happening. Now, again, there's a lot of unknown in the world. Bitcoin's very volatile. So real quick, I just want to talk about what's potentially ahead for Bitcoin from a technical perspective. To the upside, I'm not in this midterm bullish mindsets until Bitcoin does something with this 50 and 200 moving average, right? We still have this 50 moving average, the blue line you see there, with a downward move to the 200. We might get that cross below the 200. That's bearish on the midterm, right? However, Bitcoin can quickly recover from that. But if Bitcoin continues up somehow and we're in the 8,000s, that's going to be a different story, but we are far from that. Actually, I would like to say if we go over to the 4-hour chart, what I think we should definitely anticipate is a move back down. And I touched on this briefly in yesterday's Dash video, Dash taking off, a move back down for Dash consolidation, maybe into the 40s. Bitcoin, same thing. We have these key trend lines. Bitcoin just broke out, a lot of confluence down here in the lower 5,000s. And there's historically, Bitcoin, when breaking out of targets or breaking out of resistance, a lot of times revisits that resistance, even in an uptrend, continued uptrend, right? So please just be on the lookout for that. What's awesome is just the fact that actually it's kind of twofold. Bitcoin not only pulled away from traditional markets in this move, and that says a lot, the potential of Bitcoin going into Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin looks very bullish. But the second thing is it's just enjoyable to see Bitcoin perform well when there's so much fear and, unknown in the world right now. So Bitcoin just doing something that we've never seen before in the history of Bitcoin, operating in this manner, in this new type of market, right? We know Bitcoin was created right after the 2008 crisis, and it really hasn't seen too much of a crisis since then. But now it has, and now we see how it's operating. It's new data that we can use. If we look at this fear index, what we can call it, this volatility S&P 500, you get an idea of maybe potentially some short-term consolidation. This is approaching the 2008 highs in terms of volatility. It's a good indicator for what the traditional markets are feeling. If this starts coming back down, we might get a sense that fear is subsiding in the world, and that is a huge indicator for Bitcoin. Lastly, Bitcoin halving, 54 days away, everyone. That hasn't changed at all. The supply, the diminishing supply of Bitcoin is in play. I wanted to make this a short video. I just wanted to do a quick update for you, posting this to YouTube. If you're here right now, hit the like button on Twitter or YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube if you're not a subscriber as we track this. We hit that perfectly yesterday. Tracking Dash is a leading indicator. It worked. I say that because I do get comments. I got comment on yesterday's video. Dan, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, come on. This data helps us. And I want to share it with you. I hope you're doing well out there. Probably do another video later, depending on what Bitcoin does and what the markets do. But I hope you have an awesome day today. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.